What is going on, nerds? We're back again with another video. With today's video, we're going to be covering storylines in MLB The Show 24. Obviously, we've covered about every single mode in this game so far with Franchise, Martial October, Diamond Dynasty, and Road to the Show. But let's get into storylines, man. It's been a good run. One of my favorite modes in the game this year. I really like what they did with this one. Obviously, the Negro League Season 2 was absolutely phenomenal. We played this all on stream, so all these streams are available on the channel. And the Captain Pass, once again, weird, but I understand why they wanted to do this. At least to me, it was a little weird that, you know, they had this great storyline with the Negro Leagues and all the history, and then Derek Jeter was kind of out of nowhere. So I don't know, it's kind of still out of left field in my opinion. We'll see if they do this with other players. I am really curious to see that moving forward, if they do this with more players. Just because if we take a look at the Derek Jeter storyline, very well done the way they did this, by the way. I'm actually a really big fan of how they did this with all the moments. About 4 to 5 moments every single time. And then when you get to the big map, you can obviously earn more of those cards. But once again, my problem with the Derek Jeter's thing is the cards are just not good. Like, I understand they're core cards and they want the cards to actually be decent, but even his 90 overall card to me is just really not good. Like, in my opinion, I feel like this is a card which should be like a 95 at least, the final one, because you get to use it throughout the whole year, and it's honestly going to be a good card. But I really have not seen many people use these, you know, cards in general just because they were so low. So that's my only critique. If they do this next year with a certain player or a certain team or something, they got to make the cards better. But the whole moments in the Jeter storyline was just absolutely phenomenal. I was a really big fan of this one. The UI and the animations they put on this were great. And this whole map they had I thought was really cool with all the different moments you can get with the rewards. You had the different train pets, which I thought was really cool. Oh, just the whole UI of this is just beautiful. And all the moments were fun. Not, like, these weren't really hard to do. I know you could skip some or something like that, but it's like, who's going to do that, let's be honest. But yeah, overall, just a lot of fun to complete right here. And it was definitely a good time to play. Obviously, we played all this on stream with the first part and then the second part, which was a lot of fun. And honestly, just an absolutely incredible time. And yeah, I think this map is cool. I think the whole Derek Jeter storyline was really well done. Just a little bit out of the blue for me. But obviously, the Negro League Season 2 was absolutely phenomenal with the players we had. I mean, all these players I thought had an incredible story, to be honest, and they just told it really well. But once again, the Rube Foster card, not really the best, and a lot of these Negro League cards just were not good cards. Honestly, if you wanted to get a Diamond Dynasty card, you actually should have played storylines first and then hopped in, because you would have had 4 guaranteed diamonds across the board. But still, that's just the Diamond Dynasty in me. I know it's more about the storytelling and the actual players and stuff like that. But to me, that's the main critique I have, because there's no other critique I have about this mode. All the stories were absolutely incredible. I mean, in my opinion, the Josh Gibson one to me, I think had the craziest storyline. The fact that he had the contract for the Washington Senators on the board, but he did not want to be the first player to break the color barrier. He thought he was out of his prime, and he let Jackie Robinson take it instead, which is honestly insane to think about. I mean, that is insane. So absolute props to him. I mean, that was the craziest one. He could have been one of the first players. He could have been a Washington, which would have been pretty cool. It was obviously Josh Gibson and Buck Leonard. I think that would have been interesting if that did happen, because at least you have a duo when you break the color barrier. Jackie Robinson all on his own and kind of did it himself. But they just thought they were too old and they weren't going to have the talent, and then they never thought that these players would have ever got their chance in the MLB again. Which is pretty crazy to kind of think how that turned out. And the fact that the owner, that he was hesitant to sign them just because they were making so much money off the night games of the Negro Leagues, which is just insane to think about as well. Just so many different stories and different memories we have out playing these. Definitely Josh Gibson, the Buck Leonard were my personal favorite out of Season 2, obviously. And I think the Larry Doby one was pretty cool. I would say Hank Aaron's, Tony Stone, and Willie Mays were also pretty good ones as well. For me, at least, the Leon Day, Andy Cooper, and the Rap Dixon one weren't really memorable in my opinion. Bill Foster had a pretty good story, and then Jose Mendez, his one was okay, nice two-way player, but a lot of these were really fun to play. I mean, storylines was just an incredible idea. The fact that this partnership has been so successful for both parties is really cool to me. And honestly, it's just cool to see this, and who knows what Season 3 is going to be like. We've obviously had a ton of players at this point go through this kind of storyline, and Season 3 is only going to get better. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well. My other kind of idea I have for the storylines thing is it would be cool to look at the Season 1 and Season 2 ones we have in the next game to see these were the players in there. If you want to go through their storylines, you know, you go purchase the game or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool to see, like, the history of the storyline seasons that we're having, because it's cool to look through Season 2 and remember, oh yeah, we had these players, but also be cool to look back at the Season 1 players we had and see, you know, these were the first ones that did it with all those players. It'd be just cool to look back in every upcoming game and just look back at all the players that their stories were told across the MLB The Show games. Me personally, I think that would be really cool to see. It'd be cool to see the history of the mode as we add on to it every single year. But for me personally, storylines was definitely my favorite mode for what it is. If I have to give my rankings on all the modes in this game, I would probably put storylines number 1. It really is my favorite mode. I would put Diamond Dynasty number 2 for me. Then I'd put Franchise. Then I'd put March to October. Then I'd put Road to the Show. We've already covered all the other modes if you guys want to go check out their videos. And we obviously know why that ranking is the way it is based off all those videos. Another thing I want to say about this game in general, after I covered every single mode, is the UI department. I know you talked about it at the beginning of the year. The UI is just phenomenal. Like, it's just really clean. I feel like I really hope they continue this up next year, because it's just really clean to look at, and I just really like it. And all the animations you go through and all the different menus that you swap through, they just did an incredible job with this. I know it was a big focus this year, so I just gotta show my props. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What are you guys' thoughts on Storyline Season 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. What'd you like? Who was your favorite storyline in this mode? And who do you want to see in Season 3? Because that's a big question to answer. I'm not totally sure who I want to see. There's still a ton of other players that we have not heard their stories yet. But I am excited to see them going into MLB The Show 25. So if you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.